Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Queen of the Ring podcast. I'm Alex Lajas. It is March 8th. It's International Women's Day, which means you are legally obligated to send a woman money. You are legally obligated to do that. But I am not alone. I have an extraordinary woman in this space coming here live to talk AEW with me and all that good stuff. She was at Revolution. She's incredible. She's amazing. You should be checking out her interviews. Please and thank you. Haley Miller, welcome to the show.
I love that intro. It was so great. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited. Like I was telling Alex, this is like my first real wrestling podcast that I've done in like 4 months. So
She broke the streak for me.
I did.
I feel so special. You're back. You are in the podcast game. How does it feel? How does it feel?
It feels great. If you guys don't know me, I had a couple Fightful podcasts, which I have since gotten rid of because I got a new job. So I'm not in the podcast game anymore. So please bear with me. I got to warm up a little bit,
She's in the interview game. That's what it is. She's interviewing, she's writing articles, she's going to media scrums, she's
did an
getting
interview
tattoos.
like 2 minutes before this. Yeah. Who am I? Who is this girl?
New year, new Haley. It is true. It is true. It is true. Okay, there's a lot happening in the AEW world this week. There's so much happening. Let's start with Revolution because you were there. Really incredible show that happened. There were some really great matches that happened. I love to see that today Will Ospreay versus Kazuchika Okada was rated 5.75 stars with their match. That was definitely one of my favorite matches coming out of Revolution. And also, of course, the Sting match broke our hearts into a million pieces. How was the experience going live? Because you went with a couple of baddies in the community as well, right?
Yes. So when it got announced that, or Sting had said like my retirement is going to be at Revolution 2024, I was like, I gotta go. Like I don't care how much it costs. I don't care where it is. I have to go. And so I had assumed, I was like, it's got to be at the Greensboro Coliseum, right? And then they announced it at the Greensboro Coliseum, and I was like, got it. I'm going. And yeah, so it was a group of like 6 of us in media. Some of the Wrestle Purist girls, Kylie, who I did tag talk with on Fightful, she was there as well. And it was just a lot of fun. That was my first real experience doing a scrum. I went to SummerSlam last year, but I didn't get a chance to do the press conference. So this was like new for me, but I was super excited about it.
Isn't the scrum like very intimidating? It is
It
so
really is.
intimidating being in this room.
It really is. And I think it's like, for me, I think it's less like talking to the talent and Tony or like whoever. And I think it's more of like, are my questions going to suck? And then my peers, are they going to laugh at me for my questions?
Yeah, am I going to get dragged on Twitter?
Mm-hmm.
That's really what it is. But it's also like extra intimidating to be a woman in those like male dominated spaces. And then it's almost intensified the pressure that we have to ask the good questions, to make it seem like we're presentable or professional in that way, which a lot of us are professional. A lot of the women, I could say, are professional in those rooms. But for the most part, it is very, very intimidating because there's so much more eyes on us, so it feels, right?
Yeah, and I will say that there were a surprising amount of women at the AEW scrum. I don't know if that's how it normally is, but there were a good amount of women there, which really excited me. Obviously, I love seeing all the baddies taking up space in that room. And yeah, I was just super excited to be part of it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Especially in Revolution too. Like, it is such a one of the big shows, right? That
Mhm.
now they've announced that they're going to continue on having like monthly pay-per-views. But with Revolution, there was a lot of great matchups. Like, what was the match that got the biggest reaction? It obviously was Sting, right? Live, because it seemed like that at home.
I would say yes. Other than Sting, I would say Osprey and Takeshita tore the house down. I don't know how it came across on the stream, but it was so loud in there, especially for Osprey, which was crazy. And seeing, well, I guess not on, but but during his entrance, when he leads the crowd to do like the Osprey thing, I was like, oh, they're gonna mess it up. Like he hasn't done this enough here for it to go well. It was so
Mhm.
loud. I legitimately had goosebumps. Like, like The Rock when he came out on SmackDown and was like going like this. Like that was me.
Yeah.
It
People
was,
were studying it. It's what it was. People were studying it, making sure that they got it right. They didn't want to fuck it up.
and they did it. It was crazy. And then at the end of the match, when he won, it was Charlie, Lyric, me, and Alexia. Um, and when the bell rang and they were like, "Oh, Will Ospreay, whatever." I have a video of it, but the way we like legitimately stood up and were like screaming and like doing the Osprey thing, like it was feral. It was insane. Like, so sorry, Osprey.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I don't know. It was so great to see you guys all together on social media. Like, it's always just so great to see media friends together, but it's even better for me personally to see like women in media get together because there's so many of us. So then when we finally are able to be at the same place at the same time, it's just so much more magical and it feels much more important. No offense to anybody else, but it does. So what does it mean like for you to share this experience with other women in media, especially in the realm of AEW? Because I feel that a lot of people do criticize the women's division in AEW. I think that they are definitely trying. They have the talent. It seems like they are getting a lot better. You and I have had conversations about, the women's division in AEW. So what was it like to share that moment with other women in media for this promotion?
It was incredible. Like I don't even know where to begin. Like I've been in this space now. I think this is like my third year, fourth year. I can't keep track anymore. I have no idea. But like I said, like this was my first opportunity at something like this, and I really wanted to do it justice. Um, and I think just having women in that room with me like made me feel super comfortable. Like I sat with Lyric and Charlie, and just to hear them like ask such incredible questions that like I hadn't even thought of. But like I would turn to them and be like, "Oh, that was such a good question. Like that was a great question." Um, but just to be able to bounce ideas off of them all weekend, and just hang out with them and have that ear, and it was very, I don't know, it was very, I don't have the words for it. I guess I'm like speechless. I guess it felt good.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, it definitely feels good to see that there are a lot of women in that space in the media
Yeah.
scrums, right? Because going from really any promotion, but going from like not seeing a lot of women to seeing women in the room, but they're not getting the microphone as often as they should, to now almost every single, scrum. There's always a woman in the room. There's multiple women in the room, not just one woman. And they have better questions
They do.
sometimes. I'll
Yeah.
say that. Sorry to say. But it's just so heartwarming to see how much the space has grown in wrestling for women, and other women are protecting the space. Not so much gatekeeping, but just more so protecting the space and protecting each other, and just knowing that like everyone kind of has each other's backs, even if like some women don't know each other that well. It's still like having the ability to conquered this space together, right?
Yeah, it's such a rewarding feeling, I feel like. Um, and like I said, well, now that I've done one of these and like I see how it works, because sitting at home and watching these things, it's so different than when you're actually there, right? And I feel like a lot of people get online and they talk their talk, and it is what it is. Get your crap off, do what you got to do. But now that I've experienced it and I've seen it firsthand, like to see the amount of women with their hands up and they're getting called on, and they get to ask these incredible questions. It was so cool. I didn't even think I was going to be able to ask a question. I'm not going to lie. And I was in line to ask Sting a question, but then all of my questions that I had were asked. So, I mean, they were all great questions. So, shout out to everybody that asked them. But I was like, never mind.
Yeah, it sucks when somebody takes your question and your hand is still up and they hand you the microphone and you're like, uh, uh, what'd you have for dinner tonight? Like, I don't know what to ask you.
Like
Damn.
I was not going to be part of like Taylor Swift gate, like that was just, it was not. I was not going to be
Nope.
part of that. So.
Nope. But let's talk about the fallout of Revolution. So Sting officially, he's done. He's retired. And Darby Allin has announced that they are relinquishing the titles, they're vacating it, and they're having a tournament now. Throughout Sting's career, he has said that that match was one of his 3 best matches that he's had. And he's had an incredible career. Like, geez, talk about someone who's like expanded all throughout almost every major promotion in the world, honestly, right? Like he wrestled in Noah last year, he conquered AEW. So to finally see him like retire is bittersweet because it's like, one, a part of my childhood is now gone. I'm over the age of 30. I'm up there. But it's also like incredible to see how much he like just kept up with all of the younger talent, throwing himself through like tables and all that. So, how do you think this will impact like the tag division after coming off such a hot run with the Darby Allin and Sting run? Where do we go from here with the tag tournament? Because there's a lot of good competition now, especially with the Bucks. They're doing some of the best character work that they've done in a really, really long time. We have FTR. I would love to see, House of Black go for those golds again. We have the Acclaimed. There's a bright future for the tag division in AEW.
Yeah, and Top Flight as well. And
Mm-hmm.
I really miss Mark Davis. I wish that he could be part of this because I would love to see Aussie Open in this tournament. Like I really would. I really want Aussie Open to win those titles. But I'm somebody that like for the longest time I've felt that AEW struggles finding a balance, and I feel like oftentimes they were having problems focusing on stories that weren't title centric.
Mm-hmm.
But something kind of switched, and then I feel like they were fumbling like the title scene, and specifically the tag title scene. I feel like it kind of was just like an afterthought for a long time with the world title when MJF was champion. Not saying that that's Max's fault, but I'm just saying. I feel like it was just kind of a bit of an afterthought. So I feel like they're really in a boom period with the tag division now. They've got a lot of talent, and Sting and Darby both, were part of that. Sting was helping raise these next generation stars up in the division. So I feel like they're in a boom period, and I think that this tournament is exactly what they need. I was somebody that was like, I kind of want the Young Bucks to win this match. I'm so sorry, Sting. And you know what? I'm glad that they didn't. I'm glad that they put their foot down and said, no, like you need to go out and have this celebratory moment, be the hero, So I'm glad that he won, because now we get this tournament, and that's super exciting.
I thought the Bucks were gonna win too, because it's tradition that when a wrestler does retire, their last match, they go out on their back, you know. But I'm glad that someone like Sting did go out as champion. He got the huge hurrah, confetti coming down from the ceiling, but also his sons. We gotta talk about his sons
Yeah,
dressing up as, first of all, like they're his sons, so they already look like him, but the fact that they like don the makeup, the wig, the outfits, and they looked like straight out of a time machine. Just insane.
yeah. So for me being in the building, like obviously it was different on camera. Like you guys could see, like, oh, like these are his kids. But like when Garrett came out in the Surfer Sting outfit, the Great American Bash Gear, I was like, is Sting doing a callback? I was like, wait, when did Sting get that buff? Like, what is this? Like, is that Sting right now? And then Steven came out in the Wolfpack Sting like get up, and I was like, oh my god, his kids.
Yeah.
And like I thought his entrance was going to be like this big thing, you know, because they love to do that, and obviously it was his retirement match. Like you got to do it big, but I was like, there's going to be like snow falling, like you know, his debut at Winter is Coming, or there's gonna be like Sting holograms or something. Like it didn't even dawn on me that his kids would be there. I actually just talked to Steven right before I got on this, and we were talking about. I had asked him, like, were there any other generations that were kind of tossed around that, you know, you guys thought about doing or whatever? And he told me, I guess this is like an exclusive for you, but he told me that they actually were set on him doing the Crow Sting. But Darby stepped in and was like, well, if Sting is technically doing the Crow Sting, like, shouldn't we do something else? Like, why not do Wolfpack Sting? And so, like, this was like a week before the show. They had switched their plan and they decided to go with Surfer Sting and Wolfpack Sting. And I think it was such a great idea. The visual was super cool. And just, you know, we haven't seen Wolfpack Sting in a long time. So to
Yeah,
have
Wolfpack Sting doesn't get enough love.
so to have that for, you know, the fans that have been watching since the 80s and 90s, like that was super cool.
Yeah, and it's two iconic looks. You have to go with Surfer Sting always. I
Yeah.
think the American Bash version of Sting is just so solidified in just pop culture in general, not just within like wrestling culture. So, like, you have to go with Surfer Sting. Going with Wolfpack Sting, I was honestly shocked. I was a little surprised about that because, again, like, Wolfpack Sting doesn't get enough love. I did Wolfpack Sting last Halloween. That makeup, first of all, I don't understand how anybody can wrestle in makeup. I'm sweating my ass off in makeup, just streaming. And there's like lights on me. So I can never imagine anyone wrestling in makeup. But like, then his sons got involved in the match, and it was like, wait, why aren't y'all wrestling? Why aren't y'all wrestling? I believe it's Garrett who's the streamer, right? Because he
Uh-huh.
plays Destiny 2, which blew my
Mhm.
mind because I love
Which is
Destiny.
so sick. Like these two like very normal children that like grew up with Sting as their dad. Like they had such normal childhoods, like zero interest in wrestling at all. Like to see them come out like dressed up as him and doing these like crazy Stinger splashes. Like Steven, like I told him, I was like, it was crazy to see you literally launch yourself from the middle of the ring. You have zero wrestling experience. You're launching yourself from the middle of the ring to like on top of the Young Bucks. Like that was crazy.
Like that was pure adrenaline just like streaming through his soul doing that leap. Like that was wild. It was like, why aren't y'all in the ring every week? What is happening? But, you know, I'm sure as a child of a professional wrestler, like you've seen it all, like the injuries, you know, all of that in between. So it's like it's good that they came out and helped memorialize this entire event, this entire moment for their dad. They looked incredible in those costumes. Just absolutely incredible. And it's great to see that, you know, after throughout the whole week everyone has just been praising them of just being good kids. Like, hey, you're a good kid. You helped your dad out. That's really great.
Look, I'm not a fan of nepo babies, and I I will criticize nepo babies until I take my last breath. However, Sting's children might be my favorite product of nepotism. I'm not gonna lie, they're just so cool.
It seems like they're so chill. They're like, yeah, that's my dad. Anyway, you want to play some video games? You want to play some Legend of Zelda? It's like, yeah, actually, I do.
So sick.
Yes, of course I want to. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. But we got some super chats. Y'all, if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to send in a super chat. It's International Women's Day, so you're kind of legally obligated to do that anyway. Of course, if you're watching this on Twitch, follow. If you're watching this on Twitter, there's actually over 100 people watching this on Twitter. So Haley, you are a draw. Thank you for that. But feel free to send in a super chat and we'll pull it up on the screens for you. Alan Jennett, thank you so much. Happy International Women's Day. First time super chatter. Love the show. Thank you. Much appreciated. Haley, I need you here every week.
You can have me anytime. I'll come.
Okay. Cadillac Carson, thank you so much for the very generous super chat in honor of National Women's Day. And because you said I'm legally obligated, I really can't afford an attorney right now. Happy International Women's Day. Thank you. Thank you for abiding the law. And Kev Bones, thank you so much. Happy International Women's Day. Rio, Willow, let's go. Yeah, let's talk about that because things are definitely heating up for the oh, and my name is Ruan. Thank you so much for the bits over on Twitch. Women's bits.
That's crazy.
I don't know. Bits for women, I guess. But let's talk about Willow and Rio coming out. I mean, the Chris Statlander and Rio match that we got on Dynamite was great. I love to see Rio back. And I love this fire that Willow Nightingale has right now going into the TBS title. They got the win at Revolution against Sky Blue and Julia Hart. I am loving what's going on with the TBS title scene. Where do we see it going from here? Because now Willow has a match. She wants to try to prove herself with Rio. I am loving the character work that AEW is doing right now. I think it is on the top of its game in the entire world right now. From what's going on with Willow Nightingale, Toni Storm, Mariah May. Like, it is incredible.
I agree. And I'm somebody like I love the tag team stuff that Willow and Chris are doing together. I think it's so cool. Like I want them in the tag team tournament actually. Put them in.
Yeah, get the guys out of here. Put them in.
They would kill it.
Could you imagine them versus the Young Bucks? That'd be incredible.
Listen, the Young Bucks enter as a bye in the final, and Willow and Chris like, hello, that'd be great.
Need it.
I'm somebody like I love Willow so much, and I really want to see her with the title. I don't know if she will win this match, but just because I love seeing the stuff that Julia is doing, and I love seeing her spread her wings as TBS champion. But I will say it's been really refreshing to see that title take the forefront. You know what I mean? Because I feel like in the past, they've really only focused on the Women's World Championship, but it's nice that we're finally kind of getting both titles in the mix, and really great character work and great stories with both. Like, I love the stuff that Toni is doing, and now having Mariah in there, like, her and Toni cosplay was crazy. She came out at Revolution.
I thought that was Toni. No, I thought that was Toni for a second. I was like, how did she clone herself? She looks exactly like Toni Storm.
I said, what is this? like, where did the timeless thing go? And then I was like, oh, that's Mariah. Okay, she looked just like her. Like, that was crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy how much they look alike. It's insane.
It just, when they finally, like, when Mariah bests Tony, like, it's gonna be injected into my veins. Like, it's gonna be so good.
Oh, it's going to be incredible. It's going to be so good once they start their feud up together. But yeah, I'm really liking what they're doing with the TBS title, because it kind of seemed like, when Jade had it, it was more so the streak than the title. And the
Yes.
streak was cool, but the title was like, okay, this is a brand new title. Like, we're getting a secondary women's title for this company. Like, let's do a little bit more. And the story was more so the streak, which was a great story to tell. Like, I really loved it, and it really did propel her to bigger things happening in her career right now. And I think that is with the help of the TBS title. I think with Chris Statlander, it has elevated her return, but it also has elevated her character work as well. And again with Julia Hart. And so it feels like the TBS title is in a good spot right now. Could it be better? Of course, it could always be better. Like that goes against anything. Like, anything could be better, of course. But right now, what's happening with the TBS title scene, like, they're developing a really solid division right now. And I'm excited to see where that's going, because of course, like, the AEW Women's World title, like, it's always going to be there. It's always going to be massive, but it's great to see that they're putting a little bit more shine to the TBS title right now. And I'm looking forward to seeing what the future will be with Willow Nightingale. I think that she would be a perfect champion no matter which championship she wins, whether it's the AEW Women's, whether it's the TBS, or the tag titles. Who knows? But like, I'm loving where it's going, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen in the future. Like, we have Dynasty coming up, so we've got to build that pretty soon. I'm looking forward to seeing what the matchup would be. But I personally think Willow does need the win against Rio. Like she said in the promo, Rio is the first, AEW Women's Champion. It is a huge momentum for her to beat Rio in Dynamite. And so I'm looking forward to that story. I'm looking forward to, like, Willow versus Julia Hart in the future, how that would compare to, like, Chris coming in, and if there's going to be a sabotage. I hope not, but I'm looking forward to seeing where this title scene is going, because so far it's really, really great, and they've only been barely a year changing hands, because Jade lost that title back in May last year. So it's been like a couple months, and it feels like they're building up something really special with that division.
I agree. And, we have so many incredible women coming into the company. Obviously, we have Deonna now killing it up. I don't even know what.
No, yeah, killing it up. We got Deonna killing it up.
I'm so tired right now.
We got Dina Perazzi killing it up. Killing it up, babes.
In the world title picture, obviously we've got big business coming up. I'm trying not to laugh.
Killing it up.
But we've got big business coming up, which obviously, is the heavily rumored debut of Mercedes Mone. So the women's division it's looking great, and I'm excited for it.
I'm excited for it too, and especially like Deonna Purrazzo coming into AEW is so good for business. So good for business. And again, like, the TBS title scene is doing very, very well so far. I'm very impressed. But Toni Storm, she's killing it up. You want to talk about somebody that's killing it up? It's Toni Storm. Yeah. She's the greatest act happening in just all of professional wrestling across the board. And then to have Mariah May play it up as well and be in, like, Toni Storm circa, like, Stardom era. throughout her career. I love what's going on there. But what is next? What is next for Toni Storm? Because, we're getting a boss coming in possibly next week. What does that look like for the entire division? Not just with the AEW women's division, but with TBS as well. Because Mercedes possibly coming in, like, I think it's going to be fantastic. I see that a lot of people are throwing criticism like, oh, well, if she left that other company and she wasn't satisfied with the creative, then she's going to hate AEW. And it's like, yeah, but AEW is like trying. Like, they've really cleaned up a little bit in terms of, storytelling and character work again, and giving the women more time, especially on Collision. Um, I think Mercedes is going to be fine in AEW because in her recent interview with Evan Mack, she spoke about how she has a lot of unfinished business in this industry. And I think that's okay to say, because she went into Japan, she conquered Japan. I mean, she barely really conquered Japan because she got injured. She was only there for a couple months with New Japan and Wrestling and Stardom. She's going out and she's venturing to AEW. Like, she's trying it all, and she did say that eventually maybe she would go to WWE. And I see a lot of people getting upset about her saying that before you know showing up. Possibly she is gonna probably show up, but at AEW Dynamite next week. And so I feel like AEW's women's division is in a really good standpoint. Like, getting Deonna Purrazzo is huge. It's massive.
Mhm.
Getting Mercedes is just on another level. And so I'm excited. I'm excited to see, the future of the women's division. But I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like maybe we put a little too much pressure on that division where it's fine. They just got to cook a little bit more. There's already great talent that's on the roster. And someone mentioned in the chat, Jamie Hayter has to come back eventually, So I feel that like a lot of people are criticizing Mercedes to say like, oh, she's not done with AEW. I think it's, or WWE. I think it's just all rooted in tribalism at the end of the day, which is stinky. I don't like tribalism. That's not killing it up. Uh, focusing on the tribalism. But what are your thoughts about what I just word vomited?
No, I agree. And like you said, I do think that they're trying. And I think with AEW, it's like with them, we're so used to like great things with them, because for such a long time, like, no offense to WWE, but like it was getting a little stinky. So, you're
Mm-hmm.
watching AEW and it's like, I mean, even if they're doing like this much better, like it's better than, what they're doing over here. But I think that, obviously the pressure of AEW doing so great and, going and doing Wembley last year and going back this year, I think it has lit a fire under WWE, which is great for business in general. It just means more greatness for all of us. But I will say, yeah, I do think they're trying. And, they're adding a lot of women's voices backstage now, which is
Mm-hmm.
very important in any industry. But I feel like, especially in creative, like that's such an important thing. So I'm glad that that's something that they've really taken care and consideration in.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's in a good spot. It's in a good spot. And again, like I feel like a lot of people tend to forget that they're like still slightly a startup company, like they don't even have 10 years under their belt. So they are managing, but yeah, as far as Mercedes coming into the company of all elites, she will soon be all elites. We will soon get that graphic. How would you personally book her first 6 months in AEW?
Oh man. I feel like with somebody like her, it's like you almost want to straight shoot her straight to the top, like
Mm-hmm.
put her in a title feud right away. But for me, like I feel like there's so many women on the undercard that she could really boost on her way to the title. Because obviously she is going to win a world championship. It's just a matter of when. But like I said, I feel like, there are a lot of women on the undercard. Sky Blue, Serena Deeb is there. There's, Kiera Hogan. Like, there's a lot of women there that I feel like she would make magic with. That I'm super excited to see her mix it up with. Red Velvet. Speaking of mixing things up,
like mixing it up, killing it up. We got a super chat from Jackie Rodriguez with a great idea. Killing it up deserves a super chat. Throw that on merch immediately. Jackie, you're not wrong. You are not wrong.
Alex,
let's get it on merch.
Take my idea. Go
Look,
ahead.
See, Ricky even says killing it up to be on a t-shirt. Has to be. Bats said put that on a sticker. We have to. We're making it your brand. We're making it your brand.
I love that this is who I am now. Come back next time and you're just gonna see me in a killing it up t-shirt.
You're gonna see me with a killing it up like tattoo on my chest. I'm gonna get killing it up. No regrets.
Exactly. Yes. That's gonna be my next tattoo. These aren't even healed yet, and I'm like, yep, killing it up.
Philadelphia, let's get that. Killing it up.
I'm down. I'm so down.
Oh my gosh. Can we bring killing it up signs to any show that we go to together in the future? Killing it up. But yeah, I agree. Mercedes, there's an endless amount of dream matches for Mercedes in AEW. I mean, Mercedes versus Athena for Ring of Honor Women's Championship would blow my freaking mind. Mercedes versus Hikaru Shida, Mercedes versus Riho, Willow Nightingale. There's so many talent, and I agree that, like, sure, the image is there, right? The instant predictability of, like, yeah, she's going after the title and she's going to win the title. Of course, it's Mercedes Mone. Like, of course she should do that. She's a history maker already, so of course she should. But I think there's so much more for her to do to, like, mix up with so many different women in the company where it could elevate both of them, right? Where it's like, she's here, she's going to have a match, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But uplifting those different characters, uplifting those different names in these divisions where there's so much that she could just, like, it's like clay almost. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like Play-Doh. Like, there's so much magic that she could be, like, putting her hands on, and especially now having more women on creative. Like, that's so good. That is so good for the division. That's so good for wrestling in general. Not even just women's wrestling. That's just so good for wrestling, period. And so I'm really looking forward to the future of Mercedes going into AEW, but just overall, like, I think it's a good sign for her to go to AEW because, like, though she's a massive name, and although, sure, I think a lot of people think that maybe she'll make it all about herself. I don't think that's the case. I think that she's always been about uplifting other performers, right? Like, she does it a lot for Trinity. She does it a lot for Bayley. And she's done it all across the board with, like, putting over Bianca. So I think that it's still going to track in AEW. And I definitely think that's what they need for any division in AEW. But let's see if she turns heel or not, because we got a special little boy that came by, and he is now all elite, and he is here. Kazuchika Okada, he is all elite. He has joined the dark side. He's wearing suits. Hopefully not a fedora. I don't want him to wear a fedora. I don't want that for him. Grow a mustache, sure. Do what you gotta do. But please don't wear a fedora with a little, like, feather. Trying to be like, lady. No, I don't want that.
Lady.
No. I don't want it. Haley, I don't want it.
Listen, when he came out in that suit, well, first of all, let me circle it back to Revolution. Because when the Young Bucks came out in those little robes, I was like, Okada. immediately.
Yeah,
Okada
yeah.
ropes. It's Okada vibes. Like, you cannot convince me otherwise. And so then I'm like, okay, like, he's gonna join this group. Like, it is what it is. And then when he comes out in that suit, I'm like, well, now there's no denying it, because like he had to come out in this like full piece suit, and I'm like, oh, Eddie's gonna get rocked right now. Like, but I'm so excited for that match specifically, because I feel like Eddie is just waiting to, you know, eat the pin from Okada and just get and I love that. So, like, he's like, sure, punch me, you know, whatever you got to do it. And I love Eddie for that. Like,
I love that Eddie just loves Japanese wrestling so much, where he's like, just like, let me eat the pin. Let me do this. And, you know, like, Eddie just has so much respect. But yeah, when Eddie came out and then Okada came out, I was like, oh, cool. He's going to save Eddie. And then he came out with the suit. And then I remember from Revolution, also, Buck's getting the Cody Vader. Little elevator Cody Vader.
So
I love it.
I know there are so many people that are like, this stuff stinks, like, boo. But I'm like, this is like the best work that they've done since AEW was founded. Like, I love it.
It's the thing about the Bucks is that they do like niche comedy so well, and that's why like being the Elite before AEW did so well. That's why they drew almost 2,000 people for All In back in the day. Like, there's a reason why. They're very good at taking that kind of like internet criticism and molding it to their characters. They did it a lot with like Cornette and Meltzer and all of that whatever online criticism that they got back in the day. But it, like, they just do that so well. Like, they do character work so well, and when they're able to poke fun not only at each other but at the like IWC culture that's happening online, that is just so chronically online, they do it so well. And for them to play up these roles of like being the EVPs, and they're like, we have two big announcements that we're going to announce on the announcement on Dynamite. Like, it's like, this is what they do best. This is the best that they've been in AEW so far, because they have so much to go. But so far, this is the best. Again, this is just the best segments, the best promos. They look so horrendous.
It's so good.
Like, I cannot get over Nicholas Jackson with his little goatee. I just can't deal with it, but I love it so much.
I saw somebody say on Twitter with like the purple suit that he was rocking, or like whatever, and the hat, like, he looked like Rossi. And I cannot see it now.
Nah, Ross, he's gonna book like a freaking double draw. What the hell? Oh my god, no, not Ross.
Oh my gosh, that was
You know, I was at Emerald City Comic Con last weekend, and there was a whole booth full of fedoras. And instantly I thought, damn, Nicholas Jackson would love this booth so much. It's just so like, milady. Like, I can't
like,
deal.
it's very like toxic, like man vibes. You know what I mean? Like those men that are like in your DMs and they're like real creeps. Like, that's kind of.
Oh, you mean the guys that are in your DMs are like, hey, I just want to talk. I need a friend in wrestling. Do you mind if you become my friend in wrestling? Actually, I just need to talk to somebody right now. And it's not even like a whole thing of like, oh, I'm very sad, I need to talk to somebody. They're like, no, actually, I just need a really good friend in wrestling, and you know your stuff, and you're like pretty cute, I guess. So do you mind if we just become friends because we both like wrestling? Is that okay?
That's exactly how they sound too.
That's exactly how they sound in my head. Every woman in wrestling got those DMs. I bet you $1,000,000 Whether you are a content creator, whether you are a writer, a wrestler, no matter who you are, even just a fan, you have gotten those DMs from guys being like, I just think you're really cute. Do you have a boyfriend? Okay, maybe not. Anyway, I need a friend in wrestling. Do you have an OnlyFans, by the way?
That one. Oh,
that one.
I
Do
just
you
got
sell
triggered.
feet pics?
I got triggered. No, but I can't even. I'm gonna die on screen right now. Yeah, I'm gonna die.
I love that we're laughing because it's true.
Oh boy, I'm
getting hot too.
Whew.
Oh my god.
We're broken.
Okay. Okay, serious podcasters. Sorry.
Okay, I was gonna say was I need to know. I don't even know what side you're on. I need to know where they get their ridiculous outfits because when they used to wear those like short outfits, like the matching like two pieces,
uh-huh.
like, and I was like, I kind of want to buy this, and I kind of want to wear it. Like, but like, I need to know where these suits are coming from. Like, where are you getting these hats? Like, are you buying them wholesale? Like, what are you doing?
Probably customized. Do you think? Maybe customized wholesale. Oh, you know those hats. He's got a trunk of those hats. A trunk of those hats in every single color to match every. Oh my god, I hate it. I hate those hats. You have no idea.
I think it's so great. Oh man. Whew.
Anyway. We just cannot get over the outfits. They're like, oh god, they're so ugly, and yet actually no, not really, because the stuff that they were doing before was just more ugly. They're
so doing like those ugly, like patterned outfits.
Yeah. Little dangly ears. Didn't they like bleach their beards?
They did. The pink beards.
Yeah. They're professional now. They can't do that.
No.
God, they're EVPs. Fedoras. Yeah, they're EVPs. They're EVPs, not in anybody's DMs, but the fedoras in other people's DMs. Just the fedora alone is in other people's DMs. Hey, so I'm on the top of the head of an EVP in AEW. Do you want to be on my podcast? That fedora has his own podcast.
That's not the podcast. It's gonna go on AEW Unrestricted.
Yes. Yeah, it's Aubrey Edwards in Will Washington.
It's just so, it's just Nicholas. Sorry, just doing like voiceovers.
It's actually just Nicholas off screen, like, hey guys.
Yeah, he's just under the table.
His head kind of pokes out. They're like, "Is that Nicholas?" Oh no, actually, he's on vacation right now. That's what I want. Someone make that as content. Someone pay me to do that.
Somebody get this to them and let them know.
Yeah, you've got ties with Paramount. Give me a show.
Got you.
Thank you. The Nicholas Jackson Fedora Show. Featuring not Nicholas Jackson. It's like Muppet style.
Muppet.
Oh my god, they should make his hat into a Muppet. Little goggly eyes. Anyway.
That's the merch I want. That's not the merch we get. But AEW merch team.
It's the merch we deserve.
A Muppet's hat Yeah. Yeah. Sell the fedoras.
Someone get Pro Wrestling Tees on the phone right now. Pronto. Hey, this is what you gotta do. Also, give me money for it.
Yes.
I love how this might be a lot of people's first time on the show or watching the show. This is what you get, Fedora talk. But anyway, Nicholas Jackson's Fedora is doing incredible character work
Yes.
on Dynamite. It's great. I love it. Do you think Matthew Jackson needs a fedora? I think so. Or maybe the hat that Trish is wearing in your picture in your background.
Oh my gosh.
A bigger one.
I need him to dress exactly like that, actually.
Tits out and everything.
I mean, you said it, not me.
I did. It's International Women's Day. I can say what I want. I could commit a crime today.
I can't, was it, I don't remember what cartoon it was, but like Doug Dimmadome with the like big hat.
Oh, Fairy Odd Parents. Yeah.
Just like a giant
Oh my god. Did you see Tom Customs did that with Beyonce's hat at the Grammys? They need to do that with Nicholas Jackson.
Just every week it just gets bigger.
It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Actually, Nicholas Jackson should do that. Just every week, just like an inch bigger and bigger until we get to All In. And then we'll see where we're at.
How many
can barely fit into the
know?
building. Yeah.
He's got to go like sideways.
Yeah, he's got to go like sideways.
Stretcher.
They've got to bring him in through a truck with his hat. They should. They're like, Nicholas, I don't think this is working out. He's like, why? Why isn't this working out? Well, your hat's covering the hook bat signal, so it's a little too tall. Sorry.
It just reaches the rafters.
Yeah. It's like, what's Sting doing here? I thought you were tired.
Sting just slides down the hats.
Hey guys, he slides down like the little like poles. He's turning as he goes down. Yeah, you know that fedora's killing it up. You know what I mean?
Oh man. What are we even talking about?
It's fedora hours. So Okada, how do we feel about him being all elite?
Well, I for one am glad. I am just glad that he's not in NXT. Because I don't know if I could have handled seeing Okada in NXT at all. But,
oh my god. I'm not doing anything, I'm letting you talk. So Okada in NXT, he'd be awful. Oh god. Stinky poo poo, he would not be killing it up.
But no, yeah, I think Okada is gonna kill it up in AEW, at least I hope so. But I'm super excited that he's joined the Elite, but they've kicked Kenny Omega out, which is interesting. So excited to see if that leads to, I mean, obviously it has to lead to.
It has to.
Okada versus Omega in AEW.
It has to. It has to lead to it. Because now that Okada has come in as heel, Kenny's away. He's going to get the huge babyface return as he should. And they have to lead up to Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada. But the thing that I have to say is that I think our expectations, I don't think they should be too high. Just for the simple fact of like, what they were doing in Japan, they cannot do again, just physically for their own bodies, you know, like especially Kenny is out in retire or not retirement, sorry, out for injury, and there's a reason why he's got vertigo. Like he's not going to be wrestling the way, I mean, hasn't been wrestling the way that he has in New Japan. He is not going to do the same stuff that he was doing with Okada, and I think Okada as well. But is it going to be a banger? Absolutely. It's going to be a huge match. It's going to be a great match. It should main event wherever it is, whether it's Double or Nothing, whether it's Revolution, Full Gear, no matter what. Absolutely. I cannot wait for that day. I think that they're already like planning the seeds, and it's gonna, the day that happens, it's gonna be huge. But yeah, like Nicholas and Matthew and the fedora kicking out Kenny and Hangman, it should have been an email. Just devastating. It should have been an email.
What I find interesting is that Ibushi is still listed as part of the Golden Elite. So they didn't kick him out.
They didn't kick him out.
So
maybe we'll get a little episode of Kota Ibushi trying to speak to somebody, but the only person that he can get a hold of is the fedora. And so Kota Ibushi speaks to the fedora, and he's like, "Hey man, that's not cool." And fedora's like, "I don't know what to tell you, man."
I think we need that.
I think we do. I can't stop. But Kenny Omega's busy. He's a Twitch streamer now. Did you see that? He's a Twitch streamer.
I was watching his stream. This is such a long time coming. I'm so happy that he's on Twitch now, especially because we don't have BTE anymore. I'm like, I'm deprived. Like, I need something.
I need my Kenny Omega fix.
Yes.
Like, I can't just watch old, matches and interviews with you fighting Xavier Woods and Street Fighter. I need you live and in person. Not really in person, but I need you live on Twitch. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. He's done so much with video games, in terms of like Tekken and Street Fighter, and so like it's been a long time coming to see him have a Twitch channel. And I think yesterday he played Street Fighter, right?
Mm-hmm. He did.
I want to see him play like just the most obscure games that you wouldn't even imagine him playing. Like I want to watch Kenny Omega play the Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen Mall Madness game that was on PlayStation.
Yes.
Yeah.
I need to see Kenny Omega play the Sims. Like,
yeah, I need to see Kenny Omega start in Animal Crossing Island.
I need Sims. I need the Wicked Whims thing.
Yep. I need Stardew Valley. I need to see him play Disney Dreamlight Valley. Yes. I would love that for the girlies.
the like Disney Tinkerbell game, like that was my
oh my god, yes. God, yes. All of the Barbie games that came out.
Yes.
Actually, I just need him to go to like Barbie.com in a time machine, the Way Machine, I think is what it is, and go, "Do you remember those games? Or are you too young for those games?"
No, I remember them.
Okay.
I bet Kenny
Me sweating in 32.
We're only 10 years apart.
I know, but still.
I bet Kenny is a Barbie girl for sure.
He is a Barbie girl. I think he's a Barbie girl. I think he is I wonder what his main would be in like Super Smash Brothers. I guess some like Final Fantasy character, right? He likes Final Fantasy.
He does.
I know that. I'm excited to learn games with Kenny Omega.
I don't know enough about video games, so I'm like, I'll take whatever I can get.
I know.
And I'll just smile.
I think I saw a lyric tweet out like, "I don't know anything about Final Fantasy, but I'm about to." Because of Kenny Omega.
I think Kylie said the same thing. She's like, "I have no idea what this is.
I don't know what this man is talking about, but I'm about to."
It's so real.
Oh my gosh. It's so real. We're so off the rails. I love it.
When you asked me to do this, I was like, "Oh, like This is gonna be so fun. Like we get to talk about AEW. And I just love that it went off the rails so fast, all because of the fedora.
Yeah, it's because of that damn fedora, that Muppet fedora. The fedora just it did a lot to us. I guess I don't know.
Ew.
I'm sorry. Don't kink shame. We're not gonna
Oh,
kink shame.
sorry.
Well, this is the most unhinged podcast episode I've ever done. So thank you.
You're welcome.
There were rails? No, there were no rails. Chat's like, are there rails? No, they were never.
There were never
any rails. Never any rails.
No, we were literally going like this the whole time, and then we just
like the cat on the keyboard. Yeah. That's what happens in my brain like all the time. When people are like, "Man, those interviews you do are so good." I'm like, "Really?" It's just the cat like or no, the cat like pop, 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 pop. That's what's going on in my brain. I'm like, "Oh, thanks. I prepared, but that's what's going on right there up here."
It's a mood. So if you guys see us doing media at WrestleMania, just remember this moment.
Yeah, remember this moment. If you see us in those rooms and you're like, "Oh my god, you look so great. Wow, all of this equipment."
Remember
I'm just like, "Thanks." My eyes look like they have life, and they do. It's just a cat being like the little cat that does that in the GIF and everything. Just think of every cat meme that you've ever watched, and that's what's always going on in my head. No thoughts, head empty.
No thoughts, head empty. I'm just the fedora. You know what I mean?
Oh my god, the fedora. That's actually what's going on in my mind. Should we get matching fedoras for WrestleMania weekend?
Yeah, I think we should bedazzle them, to be honest.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh my god, killing it up on the fedora.
Yes! Oh my god! Killing it up on the fedora, babes. Oh my god. Do you think Nicholas would love it?
I think he would. I'll send it to him.
I think so. Yeah. We should make killing it up fedoras for Matthew and Nicholas.
He just blocks me.
You apply to AEW Media and they're like, she's banned, actually.
And it's just a picture of me in the fedora.
Oh my gosh. Killing it up fedoras. Gotta love it. I want that. Anyway, so speaking of killing it up, what?
When this ends, I'm gonna go online and I'm gonna buy fedoras for
yes, please. Get Okada one too. So Okada's gonna kill it up in AEW no matter what. I mean, he is. He's gonna kill it up. I can't wait to see him do it. I'm excited for this new era of the Rainmaker, Fedora Maker. I'm very excited for this new era. What were your thoughts when you watched Dynamite, especially after Revolution? When he did like turn on Eddie. Oh, well, we talked about that. But what do you think of the future of Okada?
It's funny.
Sorry, I'm trying to be like wrestling analyst, but all I can think of is like a cat in a fedora hat. I told you, head empty all the time.
So I think that the funny thing is it's like I'm somebody that I'm like, oh, like Okada is going to do great things for AEW. I feel like they haven't even scratched the surface with him there. Obviously, he's only appeared like 3 times. So there's so many matches and things that they could do with him. But I found it really interesting that like the internet is like why? And I think it's mostly like his like rumored the amount of money that he's making, and people are like, I don't really know if Okada is worth that at this stage in his career. I don't really care what you think, because I think he's worth it, and that's all that matters.
I feel like it's just people like opening their mouths and not being aware of what's coming out of it.
And like, why are you mad that people are taking money from billionaires? Like, please. I want more
to eat the rich.
Like, hello.
But it's
That's
just
so
like, it's
ridiculous.
people that are just not familiar with, it's like,
Yeah.
guys, it's okay to admit you don't know anything. It is totally fine. It's fine. It's fine. Because that's the thing with wrestling fans. It's like, I feel like, and I'm sure you can agree, I love sharing the love. Like, I love finding someone and they're like for instance, um, a friend of mine just watched the Iron Claw and he's like, I need to get into this world. Like, what is this world? And I'm like, okay, cool, come with me. And I took him to his first wrestling show like 2 weeks ago. And he loved it. He's like hooked on it. And he's like, who's this? Who's that? Who's that? And us as wrestling fans, like, we haven't really had a lot of, I guess, opportunities to like share that love of wrestling with other people, right? Because for so long we've always been like bullied or like, oh, that shit's fake, blah 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 blah. Oh, you still watch that? But when someone's like genuinely interested, it's like, okay, here's this person, here's all the matches that you should watch. This is one of their greatest feuds. This is one of their best promos. And so, like, when somebody's like, who's Okada? Why is he such a big deal? Like, in a respectful way, I feel like more people would just gravitate towards, like, oh my God, here he is. Watch this. He's so good. This is what he's all about. But it's like people online just need to have, I don't know. I was going to say something else, but I wasn't going to say it. But it's just people online just, I think, need to feel like the bigger person of like, who the fuck is this?
No, literally, that's exactly how it is.
That's how it sounds in my head.
And there's no shame in being like, oh, I don't know who this is. Like, you know, what are some matches I could watch? Or, you know, like, who is this? Whatever. And like, people are always willing to share that information. So, I mean, all you got to do is ask if you don't know, truly.
Exactly. Like with Church of Joshi, we started that because we didn't know anything about Joshi and we're like, teach us now. These women are so beautiful and they're so strong and they dress a little bit better than a lot of other people. Why are they looking so sparkly and just bedazzled and they're so beautiful and I want to know more. And why are they beating the shit out of each other and why are they bleeding? I want to know more. And there were so many people that were like, here's everything you need to know. So I'll never get that attitude. It's like, wow, you're a fucking loser. Sorry.
Why are we gatekeeping wrestling of all
Exactly. Things? You know those people are like, who the fuck is Okada? Blah, 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 blah. DMs me, hey, so I need a friend to talk about wrestling with. Do you like fedoras? No, I don't. It's the same people. It's the same people.
I do love that now all 4 main eventers from Wrestle Kingdom 17 are in AEW. Like, that's crazy.
That is pretty wild.
Like,
AEW is the spot.
Low key, like, they're in a great spot. I mean, you have White killing it. I mean, obviously, you know, Kenny's out, but when Kenny comes back, he's gonna kill it. We got the Young Bucks, Okada. You know, the whole Bang Bang Scissor Gang, to be honest, killing it up.
Bang Bang Scissor Gang.
So, yeah. I don't know where I was going with that thought, but
no, it like what you're saying, it's like they're in a good position right now. And for those that have like, you know, followed Wrestle Kingdom, followed New Japan, and like, you know, I've done the staying up 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning watching Wrestle Kingdom, right? You have as well. You know, sun's coming out, birds are chirping, and the main event's coming on. It's like, what the hell? Let me order a bacon, egg, and cheese now. But yeah, they're in a really good spot. I think gaining Okada is a huge move. I think gaining Mercedes is going to be a big move for AEW. I always think the future is bright with professional wrestling just as a whole because of where we are today with just having so much access to wrestling these days, you know, as opposed to how it was before. Like, I'm watching Lucha Underground on my Twitch channel, and I was saying it yesterday where it's so cool to see how many people come into the chat or even like tweet at me like, oh man, I used to love watching Lucha Underground. Like, it changed the game for me. It got me back into wrestling. And there wasn't a lot of wrestling to watch back then, like 10 years ago, right? Because you had WWE. It wasn't the best at the time. But then you had like Lucha Underground. TNA was kind of there. But now there's just like so much more on national television now, with the inclusion of like Dynamite and Rampage and Collision. Like, wrestling is in the best place that it's ever been, because of how much is out there to watch. And with AEW right now, I think it's in the best place that it's going to be, and the future is very bright for AEW. I think the future is bright for professional wrestling as a whole. But man, to get Okada in, he's officially all elite. To get Mercedes Monet, I think Deonna Purrazzo is a great addition. Like I said earlier, I'm looking forward to it. But I have to say, just one quick last thought. I am waiting for Swerve Strickland to get that AEW World Title. Please, I need that.
I feel like it has to happen at Dynasty, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no way now that Hangman is, out dealing with whatever Hangman is dealing with right now. I feel like, it really opens the floor. Like, Swerve needs this title. There has never been a more perfect time. And if not now, when? So give it to him. Thanks.
He's got huge reactions, like huge reactions. So yeah, I can't wait for that. I was saying yesterday, we were watching Lucha Underground, twitch.tv/Queen of the Ring, by the way. And we were watching Lucha Underground, and Pentagon Jr. came out, and I was like, damn, I would love to see a world title feud with Swerve and Penta, like down the line, like way down the line, like in a few years or something. But yeah, like when Swerve Strickland, that's a dream feud for me. But with Swerve Strickland, I really thought he was gonna win the title at Revolution, but I love Samoa Joe. And I think I told you this too when we were texting each other about it, where I love Samoa Joe, but I want to see a world where Swerve, this character right now, is a world champion. And I want to see what else he can do, because I don't think he's reached his full potential with this character. And I think that he will once he gains that title.
Mm-hmm. I agree 100%. And I've always felt, as much as I love Samoa Joe, I've always felt that he's just a transitional champ, which sucks because I love Joe. But I'm ready for Swerve. I really am.
Mm-hmm. It's Swerve era. I really do think so. I think in Dynasty he will get it. If not, it has to be Double or Nothing. If they want it to be one of their like core 4 pay-per-views, it definitely has to happen before the summer starts.
I agree. But I feel like, you have this new pay-per-view. It really encapsulates AEW. And I just feel like that's the perfect way to sell it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Swerve winning the title at Dynasty. It would be so perfect.
Yeah. I agree. Hopefully it happens. We'll have to see what comes up for Dynasty. I'm excited to see what matchups we're doing, because they're setting up a lot of good stuff, especially at Dynamite. Like Dynamite, I felt this week was setting up a lot of good stories already after Revolution. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they have up their sleeves for Dynasty. And also Supercard of Honor. Like, that's coming out pretty soon. We're going to get Hikaru Shida versus Athena. I think we've been waiting for that. Banger that should main event. Yes. Honestly, as long as Athena has that Ring of Honor title, she has to main event every single.
I mean, like, where are the other champions? Not on Ring of Honor television.
No.
She's the one killing it up over there. Yep. She should be the main event.
Exactly. Period. It's International Women's Day, so what we say counts. It always counts, but what we say is law. It's International Women's Day, and this was the best episode of the podcast. I wonder why. I love you, Haley. Since it's International Women's Day, what is, because I posted this on Twitter, I think everyone should post a match that people should watch today. What is a women's match that people should absolutely watch today? Like 5, 3, whatever comes to mind.
Oh boy.
I know.
You're really putting me on the spot. There's just so many I could think of. I mean, Bianca and Sasha like always comes to mind. I love going back and rewatching that match.
Mm-hmm.
Me staring at my wall like, you've really put me on the spot. I'm like,
I'm sorry.
I love when people are like, oh, like name something, and I'm like, okay, and then everything goes out the window.
Name a woman. Haley, name a woman.
Trish.
A woman? Name a woman.
Me, I'm a woman.
Name a woman. I love in that video where he's like, fucking yoga mat, name a woman. Oh man, I said Akira Hokuto versus Manami Toyota. I definitely think Jamie Hayter versus Hikaru Shida.
Yes.
Anything Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa, honestly. There's so much bad blood in there in those feuds and it's great. There's so many. There's so many. Just watch all of
Just watch every single women's match ever.
Yes, every day actually. Just every day. Do it every day. Not just today. Not just this month. Do it every day. Or else the Muppet Fedora will come after you in your sleep and ask if you want to be friends because you guys like wrestling.
That's gonna be your sleep paralysis demon, the Fedora. Yep. The Muppet
Fedora. Killing it up. Killing it up, Haley.
Goatee.
No. No. Not the goatee, please. Anything but. Anything but. Jesus Christ. He should dye the goatee purple.
Please, no. Don't give him any ideas.
Why? It would match the suits.
It's gonna give Grimace. He's gonna look like Grimace.
I would love that. It's giving Grimace. Oh my God. No. Maybe he can have his own shake. You know? At McDonald's. No? Okay. Never mind. I thought it would be okay.
He needs his own like trend, like the Grimace like TikTok trend that was going on around. He needs that.
Nicholas needs a TikTok trend?
Yeah.
It's gotta be with his fedora. The fedora challenge. I don't know. What would the challenge be? I don't know what TikTok challenges are. Is it like usually a dance challenge?
Yeah, or like they're just like stupid little like skit things. I mean, I guess they're like very like Vine-y, to be honest. Like a lot of the ones that I've seen lately, like it's very like I feel like the Vine era is coming back.
I love that. I love Vine.
Me too.
I used to love Vine. What would Nicholas Jackson's TikTok trend be? I don't know. I guess everyone just has to leave a comment under this video and let us know. What is Nicholas Jackson's That's the challenge. Say his name 3 times right.
He's gonna come to you in the mirror with the fucking fedora.
With that fedora, baby. He's got it. Yeah, we gotta bedazzle it for him. Killing it up. Killing it up. Oh boy. This was fun. Okay, this is fun. Bye. That's how I end the podcast. No, Haley, this is honestly the most fun I've ever had on this show. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for answering my texts and being like, okay, I'm gonna call me on.
Thank you for having me. As soon as you texted me, I was like, absolutely, I have to do it. Like, I love getting to chat with you in our little group chat that we have, but this has been really fun.
It has been really fun, and I love your insight, and I think that you are a massively important voice in this community, and you are doing incredible things. You are already doing incredible things in Fightful. You're continuing to do it on comicbook.com. She's signed, she's booked, she's blessed, and I love that for you, and I think that you will continue to do amazing things. And I'm not saying that because it's International Women's Day.
No, I know. You've told me that before.
Yeah, I have.
But I agree. I think that, well, I know that when I got into this space, your YouTube channel, your social media accounts were a big reason why I'm even here. Like, I loved, watching your content and keeping up with you. And, you were a very important person to me when I first started. And so it's nice. I feel like we've really come full circle. And now we're like friends and stuff, and it's cool.
Wow, I'm gonna fucking cry. Thanks. See you later, guys. I'm gonna cry. That's very sweet. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I started this like 6 years ago because I didn't see a lot of women in this space. And so now, 6 years later, to see so many women, again, like, you went to Revolution with so many women in media, and like those women were in those scrums, to see so many women in the press conferences, to see so many women backstage helping, being a part of creative, being a part of just massive moments in professional wrestling. And I feel very honored to share the space with everyone. I was just a silly little girl who picked up a camera and thought, hey, why not? And I pressed play. So, 6 years later, to do that because, I wanted to see more women in the space, and now to see so many more women in this space, so many incredible voices in this space, is just an honor and a privilege to even just exist in the same realm as everyone. So it makes me happy. It makes me happy. And I wouldn't say that because, it's just International Women's Day. I say that every day.
She does.
Sometimes. Sometimes there's just no thoughts in there,
But that's just Fedora.
Yep, no thoughts, just Fedora. Killing it up. Haley, where can the people see your beautiful face? Where can they keep up with you?
Oh man, I haven't done this in a while. You guys can follow me on Twitter.
Not the ring rust.
You guys can follow me on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, at Haleyane _ HALEYANNE _ because people love to spell my name wrong. I think my Instagram is the same. I've just been killing it up at Comic Book. I do a lot of wrestling content over there. I have some interviews coming up. So that's exciting.
Massive interviews.
Massive interviews. The peak of my career was interviewing Stephen Borden today, truthfully.
And everyone has to keep up with Haley so they can see when that interview is released, because you worked very hard for that interview, and it is...
I worked very hard. I sent him a DM and I was like, hey, would you want to do this? And he was like, sure, send me an email.
I was more so talking about your mic issues, but...
Oh.
DoorDash pulled up.
That, yes. Yeah. It was time, you guys. It was.
Oh my God. Speed Punk with the last super chat. Thank you for having this podcast. I really enjoy watching. Thank you for watching. There are currently 567 people watching this podcast over through Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. Holy fuck, this is the most I've had. Haley, you're a draw. Hello.
I love that. I'll come here every week.
Okay, Paramount, she's not...
No.
Anyway, Haley, we'll see you next week. Alex and mystery guests on every single week, and it's just you every week. Who's the mystery guest? Oh, you probably don't know her. It's
yeah, who's that?
Who's the mystery guest this week? It's just you off screen with a fedora. Oh my gosh. Okay. That's it for the podcast, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for subscribing. All that good stuff. I'm Alex Lajas. You can follow me on Queen of the Ring, really anywhere. Socials are everywhere in the bios. Haley, thank you so much. I want you back on the show.
Whenever.
Please.
Let
Okay.
me know.
We could kill it up. We need to get those shirts.
Yes, let's do it.
Yes. Oh, we need it. We need it. Shirts with fedoras ASAP. See y'all at WrestleMania for that.